If this message reaches you, it is meant for you. For anyone seeking inner peace today, you are not the mind. Listen. Take a breath right now, not because something is wrong, but because something deeper within you is asking to be heard. Most people wake up already exhausted, not from work or responsibility, but from carrying problems that never seem to end. Bills, health fears, relationship tension, loneliness, regret, anxiety about the future. We have been taught that life is something to fight, that problems must be attacked, fixed, solved, and controlled. But what if the very act of struggling is what keeps problems alive? Joel Goldsmith discovered a truth that quietly overturns everything we have been conditioned to believe. Problems do not exist where truth is recognized. They exist only in a level of consciousness that believes in separation, fear, and limitation. And when consciousness changes, problems do not get solved. They dissolve. Not through force, not through willpower, not through positive thinking, but through awakening. Here is the great misunderstanding most people live with. You do not experience life as it is. You experience life as your consciousness interprets it. Two people can face the same situation. One collapses, the other transforms. Not because of intelligence, not because of luck, not because of effort, but because of consciousness. Joel taught that two levels of awareness operate at all times. Human consciousness, where problems feel heavy, urgent, and threatening. Then spiritual consciousness, where harmony, intelligence, and order already exist. The mistake is trying to fix problems inside human consciousness. That is like trying to calm the ocean by pushing the waves. Let me tell you about Mark, a 42-year-old project manager from Ohio, married, 2 kids, mortgage, health insurance tied to his job. One Monday morning he was called into HR budget cuts. Nothing personal. His position was eliminated. In 10 minutes, his entire sense of safety collapsed. For weeks he lived in panic, refreshing job boards, replaying worst-case scenarios, feeling ashamed at dinner, distant with his wife, short with his kids. The problem consumed his entire identity. Then a friend introduced him to Joel Goldsmith's teaching, not as religion, but as consciousness. One sentence stopped him cold. Stop asking how to fix the problem. Ask what level of consciousness you are living from. That night, instead of panicking, Mark paused. Joel called this the sacred pause. Not meditation, not affirmations, not begging God for help. The pause is the moment you stop reacting. Mark sat quietly and asked a single question. What is spiritually true right now, beyond what this situation looks like? At first, nothing happened. Then something softened. He realized life had supported him before. Intelligence did not come from a job title. Supply was not a paycheck. It was a principle. He was not denying the layoff. He was refusing to let fear define reality. That night, he slept deeply for the first time in weeks. Nothing changed externally right away, but everything changed internally. Mark stopped chasing, stopped panicking, stopped identifying as a man who lost his job. Instead, he held one quiet recognition. The same intelligence that formed my life has not abandoned it. 2 weeks later, an old contact called. Not a job posting, not an interview, just a conversation. That conversation led to consulting work. Consulting led to independence. Independence led to income greater than his previous salary. The opportunity appeared only after consciousness changed. This is not positive thinking. Joel was clear about that. This is not denial, pretending everything is fine, or forcing optimism. Positive thinking tries to override fear. Spiritual consciousness outgrows it. When you see clearly, fear has nowhere to stand. Think about waking from a nightmare. You do not fight the dream. You do not solve it. You wake up. The fear vanishes because it never had reality beyond belief. Susan and Tom had been married 18 years. By year 15, they were strangers. No cheating, no explosions, just emotional silence. They tried counseling, date nights, books, communication tools. Nothing worked. Susan discovered Joel's work and realized something painful. She was trying to fix Tom. She stopped, not coldly, but consciously. Instead of rehearsing resentment, she practiced recognition. There is one presence expressing here, not two wounded egos. She stopped reacting, stopped demanding, stopped keeping score. Something unexpected happened. Tom felt it, not as pressure, but as peace. Walls softened. Conversations returned, not dramatically, but naturally. They did not work on the marriage. They changed the consciousness in which the marriage existed. Health is another place where struggle dominates. Joel never taught denial or rejecting medical care. He taught identity. Linda, a nurse from Arizona, was diagnosed with a serious autoimmune condition. Fear took over. She knew too much medically. Every symptom meant danger. But she practiced one recognition daily. Life itself is expressing as me, and life is whole. She followed medical guidance, but refused to live mentally inside the diagnosis. Over time, symptoms softened. Energy returned. Doctors were confused. Her healing did not come from fighting disease. It came from aligning consciousness with wholeness. After recognition comes listening. Not thinking, not analyzing, but listening. Divine intelligence does not shout. It whispers. Guidance comes as intuition, a nudge, a sudden clarity, a calm knowing. The mind says, figure it out. Spirit says, be still. When you listen, action becomes effortless. Here is where many people fail. They glimpse truth, then panic when appearances lag. Joel taught, hold the vision, not the situation. This does not mean ignoring reality. It means responding from peace instead of fear. You act, but without desperation. You move, but without anxiety. This steadiness allows truth to crystallize into form. One of Joel's most radical teachings was gratitude before evidence. Not fake gratitude, not forced smiles, but deep recognition. In truth, this is already resolved. Gratitude shifts you into a receiving state. You cannot receive while resisting. Doubt will arise. Old habits will surface. The desire to control outcomes will return. When doubt appears, do not fight it. Return gently to truth. Truth does not need defending. It needs recognition. Here is the paradox. The greater the challenge, the greater the opportunity. Intense moments reveal where you place power and what you truly trust. Joel taught there are no degrees of difficulty in consciousness, only degrees of belief. Advanced practitioners stop working on problems one by one. They recognize one consciousness governing everything: health, money, relationships, purpose. Life harmonizes because awareness is unified. Eventually, something beautiful happens. You stop trying to help others. Your presence does it naturally. People feel calmer around you. Situations soften. Conflicts dissolve. Not because of what you say, but because consciousness is contagious. At the deepest level, you no longer use techniques. You are the recognition. Life becomes cooperative. Synchronicity becomes normal. Peace becomes stable. Problems still appear, but they no longer intimidate. They invite deeper awareness. Joel Goldsmith's greatest teaching was this: consciousness is the only power. When you stop fighting problems and start recognizing truth, life reorganizes itself. If this message reached you, it was not by accident. Like this video so it reaches someone who needs it. Subscribe for more Joel Goldsmith-inspired consciousness teachings. And comment below, I choose truth over struggle. Your awareness is shifting. And when consciousness changes, life follows.